Saladin, the chivalrous conqueror who defied medieval brutality. Saladin. His name conjures up images of medieval warfare, towering castles and epic battles. Yet, unlike many conquerors of his time, Saladin's legacy is defined not only by his military victories, but also by his remarkable code of ethics. In an age where brutality reigned supreme, Saladin stood as a beacon of chivalry, earning the respect of both his allies and foes. Revered by Muslims as a protector of the faith and admired by Christians for his magnanimity, Saladin left a legacy that transcended the battlefield. This is the story of Saladin, the chivalrous conqueror who defied medieval brutality and became a symbol of honor. Saladin's early life and rise to power. Born in 1137 in Tikrit, a small town in present-day Iraq, Saladin's early life was marked by a blend of political and military influences. His father, Ayyub, and uncle Shirkuh were close military commanders under Nur ad-Din, the ruler of Aleppo and Damascus. Saladin's education emphasized not only martial prowess, but also Islamic teachings of justice and fairness. Early on, he displayed the discipline and strategic brilliance that would later define his career. When Saladin became vizier of Egypt in 1169, at just 31 years old, his military acumen and political instincts were already evident. His rise to power was no accident. It was the product of both skill and circumstance. The unification of Muslim lands. Saladin was not content with ruling over fragmented Muslim territories. He saw the divisions within the Islamic world as a major obstacle to resisting the Crusaders and advancing the cause of Islam. His vision was not just to consolidate power, but to bring about a unified front against the invaders from Europe. Through a delicate mix of diplomacy, strategic marriages, and warfare, Saladin achieved what many before him had failed to do. He unified Egypt, Syria, and much of the Levant. This consolidation was pivotal for the Muslim world, as it created the necessary resources and military might to confront the growing Crusader threat. The Crusades, a clash of civilizations. The Crusades were not just a military confrontation, they were a cultural and religious clash that defined the era. In 1187, the forces of the Crusader states, bolstered by European knights, stood ready to challenge Saladin's growing power. The two sides represented different civilizations, with the Crusaders driven by religious fervor to reclaim the Holy Land for Christianity. Saladin, on the other hand, sought to defend Islamic territories and restore Muslim control over Jerusalem. At the Battle of Hattin, Saladin not only outmaneuvered the Crusaders, but employed psychological tactics that would break their resolve. His calculated approach, blending strategy with patience, secured one of the most important victories in the entire Crusades. The fall of Jerusalem. Jerusalem had long been the ultimate prize for both Muslims and Christians, a city steeped in religious significance. After his decisive victory at Hattin, Saladin set his sights on reclaiming Jerusalem for Islam. In 1187, after a careful and methodical siege, the city fell. But unlike the Crusader conquest of Jerusalem nearly a century earlier, which had been marked by a brutal massacre, Saladin's conquest was distinguished by mercy and restraint. He allowed the Christian inhabitants to leave peacefully, even offering financial aid to those who couldn't afford the ransom. Saladin's compassion in the aftermath of victory not only reinforced his reputation as a chivalrous leader, but also demonstrated his deep understanding of diplomacy and governance. The Third Crusade. The fall of Jerusalem sparked outrage across Europe and led to the Third Crusade, led by King Richard the Lionheart. This was perhaps the most dramatic and legendary confrontation of the entire Crusades, pitting two of the greatest military minds of the era against each other. Saladin and Richard faced off in a series of intense campaigns, with neither side willing to yield easily. Despite the ferocity of the conflict, Both men shared a profound respect for each other. Richard admired Saladin's military acumen, while Saladin recognized Richard's unyielding bravery. Their mutual respect went beyond the battlefield, demonstrated by gestures of kindness, like when Saladin offered medical help to Richard when he was ill. These moments of humanity amidst the brutality of war highlight Saladin's chivalrous nature. Saladin's legacy. Saladin's legacy is not simply one of conquest and warfare, but of mercy, justice, and leadership. By the time of his death in 1193, Saladin had transformed the political landscape of the Middle East, uniting Muslim territories and resisting the Crusader states. Yet he was also known for his generosity. When he died, his treasury was nearly empty, as he had given much of his wealth to the poor. His legacy as a fair and just ruler resonated beyond his military successes. Even Christian chroniclers, who had faced him as an enemy, spoke of him as a man of deep moral conviction. His ideals of mercy and compassion have endured for centuries, inspiring countless generations. Saladin's life serves as a reminder that true greatness is not only measured by victory in battle, but also by the kindness and justice shown in times of power. In the end, Saladin's life was more than just a series of battles and conquests. He represented a different path, one of moral leadership in a time of chaos. His actions left an indelible mark on history, and his story continues to inspire people today, reminding us that even in the harshest of times, principles of mercy and justice can prevail. If you enjoyed learning about Saladin's incredible journey and his legacy, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more captivating historical stories. And don't forget to like this video if you found it insightful. It really helps us create more content like this.